Alright guys, doing a review on my 2013 V-Star 1300 Deluxe. And it's a Deluxe, if you don't know about the V-Stars, because of the front fairing and the hard bags on the back. It's the bagger version. Things this has done to it, it's got the stage 1 performance mods, open air filter, has a tuner, I think it's a Cobra tuner under the seat, and a Cobra slip-on exhaust. So, start it up real quick. So it's actually a pretty peppy, pretty quick bike for what it is, since it's only, I think, I haven't looked up much on this bike in many years. I believe it's an 87 cubic inch motor, somewhere in there, but it'll smoke the higher cubic motors of the Harley Davidsons. And I mean, with a passenger on the back, especially the older ones, whatever those Harleys are, 93 cubic inch, and I think it went to a 96 or a 98. I don't know much about the Harleys, or any cruiser for that matter, but I keep up with my friend's 107. I think I could beat him in the lower ends. I think I would beat him. Definitely keep up with him. This is only an 86 or 87. Could be an 89 inch, I don't know. I'll look that up, but it's an 80 something. It's been an awesome bike. I'm gonna talk a little bit while we're on a ride, but I don't know how good the audio is gonna be. I don't know how good the video is gonna be, because I've never done video on this motorcycle. So I don't know where the camera's looking. I don't know if I'm getting nothing but dash. I don't know if I'm looking down. So we'll see how that goes. I don't have time to play around with it. I'm selling the bike. The guy's talking about picking it up tomorrow. If that goes through, then so I want to get a quick ride. Plus, I hadn't ridden this bike a real ride in 2 years since I got my Kawasaki Versys. So I want to go out on a test ride. Put a little fuel cleaner in the tank. Added some fresh gas to it. I rode it once every couple of months back and forth to work, just to keep it kind of going, keep the battery charged. So took it out on a little test ride today, and bike's treated me well. I love this bike. It was an awesome first bagger for me. I had the V-Star 1100 before I got this, and this is a night and day difference in every way. The V-Star 1100 is a air-cooled motor and carbureted. This is fully liquid cooled and fuel injected, so it's a totally different beast. Night and day difference on how it feels, rides, and the horsepower and stuff that it has for it. But yeah, I've always liked the motorcycle. It's a good bike. I would tell anyone, I would recommend them getting this motorcycle unless they're dead set on getting a Harley Davidson. But if you get a Harley Davidson and you get one of the older models, lower than a 107, just know that this bike would absolutely smoke that bike. When you're out riding, you play around sometimes. I don't know if that's coming down here or over there. You play around sometimes, so even with my wife on the back, I got into a little race with a couple guys and absolutely, with a passenger, blew them out of the water. To the point to where they're like staring at my motorcycle. It wasn't that long ago. A couple months back, I was riding this thing to work, and some guys thought he was some big shot. I don't dress like a biker. I don't change what I wear. I don't wear leathers. I don't have tattoos showing. I don't wear no helmet with a bandana trying to be cool. This guy was one of those guys, though. I could see him. I'm pulling up at a red light, I could see him on his big, I mean, he probably had the 107 Harley or bigger for all I know. It looked like a brand new kind of motorcycle. One of the big ones with the big back case, the big touring models, the ones that kind of look, to me, look real silly and ugly. But I can see him weaving through traffic, riding wild as I'm pulling up just steadily to this light, going back to work. And he's cutting through cars, cuts through the middle of them, and cuts over to the car that's beside me at the light. He cuts over, and now he's in front of them at the light. He doesn't give me a second look. He's all like kind of a bigger dude, not super huge, but look kind of like a bigger dude. Tattoos, no helmet on, dressed like a full-blown biker, you know. So I'm just sitting there, I'm thinking this guy's gonna try to race me. So he doesn't look over at me, doesn't acknowledge me, doesn't do anything. We start cruising. We're both taking off like normal, but I'm ready for it because I know he's gonna try it. And there's cars that must have turned in front of us off from the right. So now there's cars kind of staggered in front of us. And he hits it right about the middle of the intersection. When we're starting to cruise off, as soon as we get to the middle of the intersection, he hits it. And I'm instantly like with him because I know he's about to do that. So I hit it and I just blow right away from him. I whip over into his lane and I take the cars that were staggered, I cut. Now I'm in front of the line. He's seeing in my rear view. He's trying to cut through the things and I'm just blowing away. Absolutely smoking. And I let off probably, I don't know, I was going pretty fast, but I already let off and was cruising. And almost every time you do that to these guys, they still went, I'm like flying up next to you and like past you as you clearly beat him. Almost dang near a quarter mile away from this dude. I mean, I was hauling away from him, and when I was hauling away from him, I started even letting off a little after I made it through the little staggered car thing. I was even starting to already let off, and then I really let off and was slowing down for this red light. Hearing it comes like flying next to me, still not acknowledging me, but I absolutely smoked him. And I love doing that to people, especially when they're on some $20,000-$30,000 bike and they think that they're, you know, the top dog. And then me dressed in regular clothes, helmet on, gloves on, look like nothing on a Yamaha. They think there's something special, and then I smoke them. But yeah. Bike's always treating me well. I haven't ridden it for a while. I'm having a kind of a squeaky kind of sound or feeling from the rear brake. Yeah, bike's always treated me well. Never had any issues with the motorcycle. A little walk around, look at it. Just a short review on my old V-Star 1300. Kind of wanted something to remember, but I put it on my channel. I'll always remember this bike. I'll always remember this bike, and even if I decide one day that I want another bagger, I wouldn't hesitate to get another one of these V-Star 1300 Deluxes. So, there you go. Nothing about specs and all that silly stuff, just my experience with the bike. And we'll get a little ride footage, a little more ride footage on the way back. This bike, it fits me perfectly. Which I've said before in my other videos. I like, the first thing I notice about a bike is how it feels when I get on it. Not when I ride it, not when I do this, not when I do that. When I get on the motorcycle. And this is one of those bikes that, as I get on it, it almost just comes up with me. It feels like a part of me almost. There is no having to force it up or anything of the sort. I could flat foot the bike, obviously. It's a cruiser and it's really low. And it just fits me well. Now that I'm used to riding the KLR though, I do feel, if I'm sitting all the way back on the seat, I do feel a little stretched out and slightly leaned over on this bike. I do like kind of the sitting up on the KLR feeling. But that's what it is when you're riding a cruiser. Added a little aftermarket horn to get rid of that annoying regular horn sound. It has 2 sets of lights. I wonder if I can honk the horn without the bike on. I don't know. There you go. Has 2 sets of lights. LED glow lights. That's the name brand, a good brand. And 1 set is on the motor area, and then 1 set is for the undercarriage or ground effects lights. And they work independently, obviously, that's why I did that. So the ones that are kind of to accent the motor, I rigged them up on a switch, so I don't even have to mess with the remotes. But they have remotes, they change colors, they do a bunch of stuff, flashing and breathing and all sorts of little things they do. But once you get that remote set how you want it, I have them on switches. Now I just got to flip a switch, 2 switches, 1 for the motor lights and 1 for the underneath lights. Flip a switch and the lights come on. How I have them set, so you don't got to grab the remote and mess with them every time you want to turn your lights on. That's pretty good storage on this bike. This bike got me, well, my other Cruiser had storage, but it had the leather bags with straps on it. This bike kind of got me spoiled with the storage and all that stuff. I've taken it out of town a few times. I've gone on multiple long rides with people, gone on camping trips, put a big backpack strapped onto my luggage right here. And I don't know if I had something strapped on the seat, but anyways, pretty cool bike. I love it. I go back and forth on wanting to sell it, but I got to make room in my garage, so pretty much one of the main reasons that I am selling the motorcycle. So that's about it, and we'll get some ride footage on the way back, talk about it a little bit more. Wanted to do a review on this bike, just never did. I thought about it and I thought about it and I thought about it, and I never got to it. I got my Versys, and then that thing started having that starting problem, and I was into the adventure bikes. So I went and got the KLR 650, and then I was just starting kind of the YouTube channel. I was like, I need to get out on the V-Star and give that bad boy a review. So I got it up for sale now because I haven't been riding it since I got the Versys. You know, I got 3 motorcycles, and I don't know, I get used to riding one, and then the other ones just sit in the garage, just taking up space. So it's time to let her go. Let somebody else take it for a while, get their bagger fixed, and then they'll either keep it forever, and it's that kind of a bike, or they'll sell it and move on. But I have thoroughly enjoyed this motorcycle, let me tell you that, straight up. One of the best motorcycles I've ever owned. I need to fix this stupid mirror because it's not where I want it. Never given me a single problem. Never not started. I don't even think the batteries, even when I haven't ridden it for 2 years, I go out there every now and again and start it up. I don't care how long it's set in the garage. I'd be like, oh, let me go out there and start that bike. Probably not going to even start. Sometimes you have a bike, you leave it sitting for a couple months, go out and start it up, and the battery's dead. This one fired right up every time. I was always surprised. Anyways, never given me any issues at all, which is
one of the reasons why I love the bike and go back and forth on even selling this thing. But you know, handles good, handles perfect. I had a V-Star 1100 before I got this bike. See, I could go down, I don't know what gear I'm in. I might be in 5th. Let me check. Nah, I was in 4th. All right. So I'm in 4th gear. You can cruise. The bike will lug. You're not having to always switch gears because the motor doesn't want to lug. This bike, it'll lug pretty good, pretty low, and then just cruise right back out. 55 I'm doing. I'm in 4th gear, putting along. It's geared pretty well, even though it's only 5 gears. On this bike there's really no need for a 6th. My friend has a 2019 Harley Street Glide, and I don't know what the view looks like on this bike. Just wanted to lock the brakes up real quick, check them. Very stable. Let's get it. Make sure that's not a cop. Anyways, I don't know what the view looks like on this, so I don't know if I'm getting mainly dashed, but I'm trying to hold my head back a little bit. I've only used this camera on my Versys once to do a quick video, and my KLR 650. The seating position is different, the dash is different, so I have no idea how this looks, but I don't have time to play around. The guy's talking about coming to pick the bike up tomorrow. We'll see if he comes through with it or not, but so I wanted to get out for one, do a little test ride. I haven't ridden this bike in so long, and when I did ride it a few times, once every month or two, to keep the fluid rolling and the battery charged, I just rode it to work and back, which isn't very far. I'm taking it out on a proper little cruise. But yeah, bike's been solid. Only has 15,305 miles. This bike has the stage 1 done to it, modifications. It has slip-on Cobra exhaust, has the open air filter, and it has the, I believe it's a Cobra tuner on it. It regulates and decides how much fuel and air ratio and all that good stuff. Pretty peppy bike for what it is. The majority of cruisers out there, this bike will beat, unless you have a brand new one that you spend $25,000 on, those ones probably beat it. The older Harleys, the 90, I don't even know much about Harleys, but whatever the older motor is, the 93 or whatever it was, maybe 98, the 103, and then they went to the 107. It'll keep up with the 107. I think it'll beat the 107, probably until we get up to high speeds. We're doing like 100 and gassed it. If they're already up there, then it might pull away a little bit. Just a little bit. so definitely quite a bit faster than KLR. Definitely more vibraty than the KLR. You think the KLR vibrates? Go ride a big old souped up cruiser. It's a sport gear. I'm cruising at 90 miles an hour. Yeah, sport gear, I'm in fifth. Kind of just like an overdrive, I guess. Going super fast on turns, just in case somebody's pulled out across the road, a truck with a trailer pulling out or backing in. And then you gotta now stop on a turn, straighten the bike, and emergency braking. This bike. Not to speed on this motorcycle. I don't know why. It never feels like I'm going that fast. I'm going 80. Bike does not have ABS, so more cautious. Plus it weighs probably 750 pounds. I tend to get on this bike and get excited and sometimes ride a little faster than I should. Another good reason to get rid of it. 75 feels perfect on this bike. I'll even drop it into fourth with 75 real fast. You see the difference. That's fourth. Almost 80 is a little faster than 75. Even 70 or fourth feels good. It's probably how my KLR feels like in fifth. Got the bike, I thought about changing this windshield out. I need to remember to lean my head back a little, because I wasn't sure if I liked it this tall. I want to get one of the shorter ones, possibly tinted, I don't know, but I got used to it and I was like, I don't mind looking through the windshield. I know most people, I've ridden this bike in the rain and all sorts of weather. I've never had an issue. Now I do use some cleaning products sometimes on the bike, and I think I put my wax all on the windshield so it beads water pretty good most of the time. I almost didn't see the stop sign. But the windshield beads water pretty good when I put my wax all on it, and I've never had an issue having to look through the tall windscreen. And of course you can change it out if you want. See, we're going 40, really low in that gear, and it doesn't mind. I don't even know what gear I'm in, probably fourth. Now we're at 50, 60, all in that same gear. It went from 40, and I could have probably gone to 30. Riding bike. Me and my wife have gone on some pretty good trips on it. I wish, of course, you know, everyone always wishes they could have done some more. I wish they would have gone more. She likes riding on this bike, probably her favorite bike. She probably likes this the most out of any bike I've ever owned. Of course, it has a big, nice seat for her. The ultimate seats are on the motorcycle. It's super comfortable. I don't know if I can tell you one time when my butt hurt on this motorcycle. On my KLR, I can tell you the ride that we just took, I would start feeling probably something. This, I feel like I just got on there at my house, and I've never felt any difference with this seat on there, the ultimate seat. And I got my wife the higher sissy bar to get the backrest up for her to make her more comfortable. So, needless to say, we're going out of town. She would want to go on this bike for sure, 100%. Even over the Versys. We've gone on a few trips on the Versys, and she's fine on the bike, but she would like this one better. Kind of miss that sometimes.
More of your faves are coming up on 93Q. 90s. The 90s. Your 90s country lunch is sponsored by Papa John's Pizza.
Woo! It's Sean Xavier with Green Light Offer, and we buy.
The music on and the lights off. But now it's just
versus ADV bike. I have to admit I feel safer on a ADV bike. Just the riding position is better to me. And if you have a comfortable seat, I'd say the riding position is more comfortable. I like a standard motorcycle where you're kind of sitting up on it with your feet underneath you, even though, like I say, with this ultimate seat, I don't know if I've ever had a time where my butt has hurt. Probably more my back and my other things start hurting before my butt on this bike. Check the radio out real quick. Got an antenna for AM FM radio on this too. Turn off for a second, but there it was, or I'll get flagged for copyright. Copyright violation. Passing power. want to do a quick review on the old V-Star 1300 Deluxe. Later.